I'm Kathleen Risa, and I would like to introduce you to my husband, Kristen Risa.
Hi.
I am not Norwegian. I am an Indiana born and bred, but my husband, Kristen, came from Norway to go to school at Purdue University, which is there in my hometown, and we met and got married, and I, over the last 50 or 60 years, have adopted his culture, language, and cooking skills. So today I want to talk to you about one of Norway's favorite foods, and that is a bread pastry called lefse, L-E-F-S-E. And it is cooked as a flatbread. Lots of cultures have flatbreads. Here's a stack of the ones that have been rolled out and fried. They're very similar to pita bread in the Asian countries, tortilla breads. This one is cooked until it's very brittle, like this, and I'm gonna.
Now, are they fried or baked?
These are fried on a dry skillet, no oil.
Oh.
Just on you roll them out and you put them in a hot, dry skillet. Turn them over for like a couple minutes on each side, and this is what you get. Over at room temperature, they get dried until they're crispy like this. Then they are put in storage in Norwegian homes. Usually in what they call a stabur, S-T-A-B-B-U-R, which is a separate building from the house, usually out back, and it's up on stilts, but it's still kind of a fancy building. If you Google it, you'll find one. And they keep a lot of their food products out there because it never really gets that hot in Norway. If they get 75 degrees Fahrenheit, that's a heat wave for them. So most of the time it's in, especially up in the mountains, it's in the 60s, and it's cool enough to keep things like this safe. And inside the stabur, it's away from animals, and they don't have those kinds of insects there. So there are lots of advantages to that. So today I'm going to show you how we go from these prepared ones to the ones that are actually served. So in order to prepare these, you take one of the sheets and you run it under the water in the sink on both sides, and that gets off a lot of the flour dust from where you rolled it out, but also it starts to soften it. So you take the sheet while it's still brittle like that and put it inside damp cloths, and you leave it lay there. I've prepared this maybe 2 hours ago, and when it's finished and ready to actually get ready to serve people, it's pliable like this. And so I have some more here that I'm going to fix up later, but we're just going to fix up one today. So when you would get ready to serve these to people, the cook would actually make this up ahead of time. So you take some butter and butter the sheet of lefse. This, by the way, is unique from the other ones made in other parts of the world because it uses mashed potatoes and potato flour. These are variations in many parts of Norway. They make them thicker, bigger, and they're called different things sometimes in the dialects. But this is the one my husband grew up with in western Norway near Stavanger. So you butter the softened sheet and you put some sugar on there, just a little bit, not a big pile, and you begin to fold it in about halfway or so on each side. And as you fold, you keep buttering each layer. Now, I don't actually do it this way when I'm making it for my family because for years I have found this process a little redundant, actually. If I could make up a mixture of the sugar and butter together and just smear that on, that seems to be easier. So I make up what essentially is a buttercream icing without all of you could put flavoring in there, vanilla or almond, and make it like an icing and just smear it up once with that. I do get rave reviews when I take that to meetings. So once you get it to this point, you start, did I butter all the, I guess I did. You start cutting them in finger-sized pieces. And that is how they're served. And obviously, these need to be served so they don't dry out. but they can be kept in a damp cloth if you have some left over. But usually they all are gone. And it may look kind of gross, like you think, oh wow, that looks like a wet cracker. And it is rather like a wet cracker, but they're actually tastier than they might appear to be at first glance. And so, let me tell you a story about someone who accidentally lost their coat down the latrine hole, and he went down after it. And the people around him were saying, oh, no, why did you go down? Don't do that. And he said, because there's a piece of lefse in the pocket. And so that is how much value this pastry has in Norwegian culture. And they actually call them many names in different parts of Norway: klubba, klampa, lefse. And my husband, Kristen, will maybe tell you a little bit about what these pastries mean to him.
Are these like what your mom would make, Dad?
Yeah, pretty much it is.
Yeah? What have you got there? Can I zoom
Yeah.
in on what you're holding there?
Oh, that is the original recipes. They came from my mother way back when. That shows how to make them. We have copied this on the computer now, but this is the how it originally came to us. So
And that's the more Risa that I've heard.
handwriting, yeah, that's
Yeah.
on the handwriting.
More Risa being her.
What her name was. That's what she went
More
by.
is Mother Risa is what we call her,
Yeah.
yes.
Her name was Valdis. Last name was Risa.
Did she cook like this for you when it was holiday time in Norway?
Yes. We had this for Christmas. We had it for Easter, and we had it other times during the year when there was some kind of a celebration or whatever. Like confirmation is a big thing for
A wedding, maybe.
weddings. Yeah, always had it also at weddings. Yes.
Are these similar to the kind that your mother would make? Would they be similar to these or different in some way?
Similar to these. Now there are all other recipes. There are many recipes for lefse. They vary from region to region in the country. So some are better than others, of course, but this one is fairly typical. There is something else that is worth noting. In Oslo, they have something very similar to these. But when you go into a hot dog stand and buy hot dogs, they'll ask you if you're going to have them in the hot dog and bread or in lompe. Lompe is a potato lefse, so very similar to this, but it's more soft. So you can fold it on the hot dog, and that's a common thing in Oslo.
Do you like those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And so, we have lots of ideas about this, and if any of you are interested, please contact the Norwegian Room Committee, and we'll be happy to provide you with recipes and instructions.